We're back in the gaming pantry. Yes, we can call it the gaming pantry because we're going to show you some games. Yes, it's been a long time coming. But anyway, this past weekend just gone, whenever I set this video out, went to the Black Country Games Fair, the 5th one, now 5 of these. Just gone, it was Sunday the 2nd of March at the Robin R&B Club in Bilston for the second consecutive event. And for the first time in probably about nearly 3 years, I wasn't stuck behind a table. It's nice to go to one of these things and have a walk round as a punter. So this is what this video is going to be about. That's what it's going to be. Got some pickups here to show you. So I'm unquite sure when there'll be any more pickups, to be fair. So yes, Retro Bear here, welcome you into the gaming pantry. I'm hoping you are all well, and it was great to see so many people at the market this weekend. Was it the market at the Games Fair? I don't know, I keep calling it market. I think because it's got Black Country, people think it's called the... Refer to me in our WhatsApp group as the Black Market Games Fair. It's not Black Market, no, it's the Black Country Games Fair. I'll get it right, Black Country Games Fair. That's where it was. Don't use that because it's gone. I'm keeping my collection of flyers. So it was just nice to be on the other side, because Mrs. Bear didn't have a table this time. She's got too much work on at the moment. She's trying to catch up and deal with some of the backlog that she's got. So she thought, well, if I have a table this time, if I say I'm going to be there, people will bring me stuff to repair. I'll get further and further behind. So we decided not to, and it was nice actually. Nice, a nice day out amongst friends and people we know as well, which is quite, one of the great things about doing these markets is it's the social aspect. That's what we enjoy. No fishy reason for going whatsoever. It's just we enjoy doing these things. We enjoy seeing people. People like you seem to like seeing us. So that's good. Who do we see? I'm trying to think because I'm going to desperately forget somebody. Traders, Hidden Chest, Stanton Dana, who organised it, were there. Darren McCowan and Stu, Tutti UK, were there. Eddie and Dylan, Rollercore and Hyper Trigger X, they were there. Their stall's getting smaller and smaller as they've sort of moved through all their stuff now. Who else did we see? Nick and the Vintage Gamers, Gamer was there. Martin, Joypad Joy and Toys. Jay from Get Gaming. So 4 big local independent retailers from our region were there. And Sean, Retro Games Revived, and his daughter Sam were there with their table as well. Sean was selling his 8-bit tat. and not just 8-bit tat, he had some other stuff as well. And Sam was selling the things we had like with her last time. And I think that's all the traders that we know. Oh, Fob, you don't forget Fob. He was there as well. So, yeah, good selection of traders. Some people that we've been there before. There's a Red Dragon who bring some of their import stuff with them. They're actually going to bring Mrs. Bear a repair, and they forgot to bring it with them, so she didn't get that off them. But I'm sure there'll be another opportunity to do that. So it's nice to see. Did I see anybody from YouTube? Quite a lack of people from the tubes knocking around. I think Paul the Ink Northern was going, but he had to pull out last minute. Who did we see? We saw Jim Corbana, who came down after much confusion of the opening times, but he made it. And quick chat with Jim. Callum, Retro Ghetto, always at these events. He always comes over and says hello, or pops by and starts talking to you. And it's nice that, because obviously we know how big he is in terms of YouTube numbers and what have you and following, but he's still got time for the scratty little channels like this, which is nice. He's nice bloke to talk to. I was wearing my Sky Sports jacket, which you may have seen before, and it's one thing he's not going to get in his collection, my Sky Sports jacket, but I'm definitely keeping that one. He's not having that one. But yes, it's nice to catch up with Callum again. Soup of Pants Gaming, who I met at the last Black Country Games Fair, and we spent 10 minutes talking to each other, wondering, I'm sure you know who you are. We're on the side of the table. Nice to catch up with him. He came in a little bit later on, so he was there. Who else we see? Andy at Piece of 8. piece of 8-bit. That's it. Yes, I remember the channel name there, Andy. He mentioned to me the night before he was going to be there, and he'd picked up some things, one of which I was a little bit jealous of, until I found out that he wasn't quite what I thought it was. So I'm still slightly jealous, but not as jealous as I was at the time. And he was also trying to get in with a trip to IKEA, because that's not far down the road from there. Who else did I see? There was Phil Flip Gamer, who I know from my dear old friend John. John's brother Jason was there as well. Always want to see Jason's event. Did see my mate Retro Mickey, but I didn't get a chance to have a word with him this time because he was buying all Sean's stuff, and by the time we turned around, he'd gone. Craig Turner was there, and I chat with Mrs. Bear about repairs and things as well. Nice to see him. I think that was everybody I can remember talking to. If I have forgotten somebody, please let me know. I've seen a couple of videos go up from people today who were there as well, who I may or may not have seen. I can't remember. But yes, so passing ships in the night like fishing trawlers, yes, things like that. Yes, so big problem with the event last time was the lighting, and I think most traders have sort of been there before, realised that perhaps they better bring some supplementary lighting, which is quite useful because it was a lot lighter in there than it was. It's still not the best venue, but it's definitely better than the archery hall that it was in previously. I think if some people who hadn't been to that one had seen that one, they'd have probably never gone again. And I think the best way to describe it was there was a real mixture of stuff. Now, it's a small gaming fair. It's not a Doncaster. It's not a Birmingham. It's not a London. It's a small local event put on by local traders to bring in, people who want to do it. Supported by that team. So if you go there expecting to see, thousands and thousands of traders and hundreds of people and all the expensive stuff and the rare stuff knocking about, then you're going to be slightly disappointed. If you go in there expecting, not say generic stuff, but stuff that you may not have seen before, or you're after a particular collection. If you've gone for PlayStation 2, PS3, Xbox 360, you were well catered for. PlayStation was quite like PlayStation 1. But it was real mixed up. I mean, Nick from Vintage Gamer, for example, did bring some of his higher end value items with him. You didn't have to look very far to look through some of the games he brought with him. And if you've been to Nick's shop, you know he's got mountains of stuff. He can't bring it all with him. So he bought some very high end items. In amongst the stuff on the table were some very highly priced games as well. One bloke got to his table before I did on the second time I went round, and he got point blank 1, 2 and 3 on the PlayStation 1. I was like, God, I didn't enough money to buy all 3 of them with me, and I was like, swine, because point blank was one of the games I had originally, so I would definitely try and pick it up. But I tend to do a first walk round, see everybody, say hello, quick scan through, and then go and have a cup of tea or something, and then come back for a second walk round, and then sort of go and spend all my money on the third if I haven't done it already. So yeah, it took me a bit of a while to get motivated about it, but I think it was seen a lot better. I think it wasn't, I would say, supremely busy, but that was quite good because it's a small venue. It was quite busy at the start when obviously us 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock ticket holders, it was quite busy. But I think after that there was a nice progression of people, and I think they sold probably. Just trying to remember, about 90% of the tickets between 10 and 11 and 12 sold. So that's a pretty good thing. Of course, it was free to enter off that. And even when we left, and we were there right at the start, and we left about 1:45. We'd have left at we'd have left about 1:45, but we then spent an hour saying goodbye to everybody. So yeah, we were there till 1:45. It was probably a lot longer. I think we were probably the last people who were there first thing in the morning. But so what? I think some people said it was quite cold in there. Bear in mind, it was a cold, frosty first Sunday in March. It was a cold night the night before because it was about -3 or something like that. and of course to load, to get the traders in, they've got to keep the side doors open. So the side doors have been open from probably about 8 o'clock in the morning, so obviously it's going to be cold in there. And it's not, I mean, look, it's not designed for a gaming fair. It's designed for a small, rock R&B club. So yeah, look, it is what it is, and I thought it seemed a bit better this time around than perhaps the first time around. It was lighter in there, maybe not quite as many people in and quite as many traders, but to be honest with you, for what I wanted it for, I thought it was great. It was great to catch up with some friends. It was nice to see some people again who I didn't seem to bump into at these events. And yeah, me and Mrs. Bear had a really nice day out. We really enjoyed it. So what can we say? For £3, you can't say fairer than that, can you? Right, you're into the pickups, aren't you? So let's get on with the pickups. I'm out of practice, I'm talking crap again. Right, so when I got there, first thing I wanted to give Sean was his CDI back, because Mrs. Bear repaired it. So we gave Sean his CDI. I said, "Oh, I've got something for you. I've got that game for you." I was like, "Oh, what game?" I didn't ask for a game. And then I remember that Sean had done a stream the Saturday before, which he does. He's done one a month so far on a Saturday night. It's called Rum and Retro Games. It's basically Sean sitting there for half an hour or so, and then invites people to jump on his stream, and we sort of come on and take over for a couple of hours. It's quite good. It's quite good fun. Nice way to spend a Saturday night. So he hands me a bag and he said, "Oh, I've got these for you." And I thought, and I put a couple of extras in there as well. I thought, right, okay. So the game you wanted to give me, which I then remembered when I opened it up, it's from my Wii collection. I've got a small Wii collection, just in case you're wondering, and it's still sealed. And this is the Island of Dr. Frankenstein. Yeah, only the highest quality titles go into this collection. It looks like one of these really low grade titles. I've got a game called The Tale of Desperoo, which is about a mouse, and I think that's from the same people who did it. There's a couple of games like this as well. I think probably The Island of Dr. Moreau would have been better, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's still sealed, so that'll go into the Wii wall at some point when I reorganise it. Just put that down there. And he also chucked in some dusty old tapes as well, because as you know, I do like my dusty old tapes. Yes, I'm still collecting those. We haven't forgotten about the dusty old tapes. They're still going through. So I've got two Amstrad and a Commodore 64 here. The Commodore 64 game I've got is Talladega on the Americana label, which I can't show you what it looks like, because in those days you didn't get screenshots on the back of games, but I think it's like like a NASCAR type. Well, it should be NASCAR, because that's what Talladega is. But yes, I've seen, remember Sean picked up this a while back, and he threatened to give it me then. But yeah, I haven't got that one. That's lucky, wasn't it? I've checked. And these two on the Amstrad, two I haven't got as well. Well, this one I haven't got anyway, which is Grand Prix 2, or Grand Prix Simulator 2. It should be Grand Prix Simulator 2, because obviously there was the first one. First one sold bucket loads back in the day. When on a Spectrum, it was like literally a black track with two coloured squares going around, simulating cars. It's slightly more advanced, this one, which you won't be able to see from that. But I know what Sean's done. He's probably put this in a brand new box or whatever, and it's all there. Yeah, so it's like a Super Sprint game. You may remember Super Sprint, you may not. But yes. And you can actually get 3 people playing this as well. How they managed to do that, I do not know. And those were the actual Amstrad screenshots. So probably ported directly from the Spectrum. But yep, I've got it on a Spectrum, but I haven't actually got it on a loose tape on the Spectrum, but I haven't actually got it on a proper copy. And then this one here is also on the Amstrad. This is Octoplex, or as it's more commonly known, the further adventures of former MP Michael Fabricant. Definitely him, innit? Definitely him. Octoplex. Now, I have got this, but I've got it on the Commodore 64. So Sean's really looked at with 3 games there to pass on to me that I haven't actually got. Deep in the heart of a giant molecular compound imprisoned by the evil wizard Zolf, or Zolt, you have but one desperate wish to escape. Yes. Yes, that's on the old Mastertronic Mad label. So thank you for those, Sean. Those were freebies. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Now, apart from I'll show you these ones I'll get first, and then yes, I'll do these first. So Retro Red Steve wasn't there. But he crops up quite a lot on this channel because he keeps doing this PlayStation 1 challenge. And his latest game, which is running from the middle of February until the middle of March, is Ridge Racer Revolution on the PlayStation 1. And he does a lap, basic settings, don't change anything, go in there, do a lap, or do a race, and then the fastest lap goes into like a leaderboard thing, and a few people upload videos to YouTube. Some people take part in other ways, and if you've got the game, great. And you know, sometimes you'll pick a game which is really generic, like Wipeout, and nobody's got it. I'm not joking, nobody got it. And then he'll pick something really obscure like Super Trucks, and like everybody's got a copy for some reason. I don't know how he does it. So he picked Ridge Racer Revolution for this one. I hadn't got a copy, but I have now. And this is the black label. Mrs. Bear located the platinum label version for me. I thought, oh great. And then like literally 2 down from it, I said, well, there's a black label version there. I don't want the platinum one, I have the black one. So she's still got a lot to do when it comes to box shopping. But she's also tricky. So, well, yeah, there's a racer, buy that one. So buy that one. I said, well, he hasn't got every single racer on the PlayStation 1. Nobody knows what he's got until he actually brings it out and sort of shows it off, and then we'll go, oh yeah, I haven't got that. So you'll decide you're going to go and buy a copy or not. So I decided not to buy lots of PlayStation 1 games, racing games, on the off chance that Steve still hasn't played them yet. He's got them on his shelf. But then if he tells us what they are in before, it takes the fun out of it, really. So yeah, Ridge Racer Revolution, it is all complete. So we have a manual, a bit creased, and the disc. And I think the disc is, I think what we would described as, well, Mrs. Bear checked the disc. She said it was a bit worn, but it looks all right to me. Yeah, so it's pretty good, that one. Yeah, so I won't tell you what I paid for anything I made a deal on, and I paid £7 for that, so I don't think it's too bad. Paid 7 nicker from that. This was from a store that were there quite like. They do some Pokemon cards, and they do. I think I bought a copy of Vigilante on the Master System from them in Birmingham a few years back. So there. And the other one I got, I wasn't really looking for anything else on there apart from PlayStation 1 Racers. And then I thought, I do like a good compilation, particularly 8-bit, but I do like a compilation. I've got lots of the ones for PlayStation 2, and I've got stuff on, you know, like the Metal Slug Anthology and the SNK collection. Somebody gave me the Secret Santa this year, an SNK collection for the Switch, which I still haven't played yet. What have I done with that? It's downstairs somewhere, isn't it? I think, yeah. I was just going through, I thought, I haven't got that one. I thought, I know what that priced it, and I thought the price seems fairly good. I don't know many of the games on here, which is quite scary, really. But I thought, you know what, for that price, I thought I'd get it. And this is the Tecmo Classic Arcade Collection on the Xbox. I bought an Xbox game for ages. Now this has Bombjack, Rygar, Star Force, Solomon's Key, I can't even read what that says now. Playoids, Sangio, Pinball something. God, this is terrible, isn't it? Pinball something, Strato Fighter, Swimmer, Tecmo Bowl and Tecmo Cup. And I think Bombjack, Rygar, Solomon's Key and the 2 Tecmo sports games I know of. But the other games I don't. Disc is in actually very good condition. It's got the manual, and that's it. So if you like these sort of things, that's great. So I paid a tenner for this. I think CEX sell it for £15 retail, so that's not a bad little saving, that. I didn't try and haggle, by the way. I'm terrible at haggling. Mrs. Bear is great at haggling, but I think she was in non-haggle mode, and I just handed over me £17 for that and the Ridge Racer. So I'm happy. I'm happy paying £17 for the 2. Mentioned Eddie and Dylan earlier. I picked this up off Eddie. He charged me, I think, £2 for this. And I was looking around at PlayStation 2 games. I thought, let's just try and find some PlayStation 2 games. When I first started collecting for that system, I always have these ideas in mind when I started collecting with the Wii. When I started collecting the Wii, it was like, why are all these games dirt cheap? Just buy all these cheap games for it. You know, there's loads of games for like 50p or £1, or in the old days, the CX 25 pence. And then when I started collecting Xbox 360, it's like I only want to collect steelbooks and special editions, but that went out the window. And then when I started picking up PlayStation 2, I was on the pick up PlayStation 2 games based on, you know, an obscure genre or what the cover looked like, and that went out the window as well. But I was walking around thinking, you know what, I could really do this skiing game. I haven't got any skiing games. And then when I got home, I found out I got 2 for the PlayStation 2. But anyway, I got a third now. I picked up Alpine Ski Racing 2007, featuring Boda Miller and Herman Meyer, who are 2 skiers I'm aware of. And I remember ages ago, I had a game called I had a game on the Xbox, and it was a crack copy. I can't remember what it's called now. It might be called something like Downhill Skiing featuring Helmut Hoflehner, because I used to love me skiing when I was a kid. You know, 12:30 during the winter grandstand, the latest men's downhill was on the telly, or Ski Sunday was on, and then years later when Eurosport was still alive, you know, I mean, my parents for some reason were fixated with watching like biathlon and cross country and ski jumping. So Saturday morning instead of me and Sunday morning instead of me sitting around watching winter sports, which is fine. I don't mind that. Don't mind that at all. I thought I could have a really good skiing game, so I picked this up off Eddie. It's all complete, nicely done. Oh, it's a bit, yeah, I just need to replace one box on that one. But I mean, I'm not really overly fussed about that. It's just nice to have something for Eddie for a change. You can give him some money for something. I watched a couple of videos and it does look quite good actually, so I am going to enjoy playing that. But I have actually got Alpine Ski Racer 2005 and also Alpine Racer, which I think is the Namco arcade game. So yeah, I have got skiing games, but I just got another one now. That was it. That came at the end of a long sort of walk around and picking some other stuff up. Now, the rest of the stuff I can't tell you what I paid for it because I did deals on it, or I was given deals. Everything here I'm about to show you, I've got 4, bought from 4 traders, and they all gave me a deal. I didn't even ask for a deal, they gave me a deal. Which is very generous of you, gentlemen. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. You didn't have to. In fact, I think I tried to give people more, I tried to give Eddie more money for his game, and he wouldn't take it. And I think I tried to give Stu a bit more than, I said, oh, I'll just pay, no, I'll knock that off for you, you know. I don't know, yeah, very generous, but again, it goes to help me know people, you know, and you know, some people go in and haggle, and it's just wrong. It just, you know, it just doesn't work sometimes. You know, I think if you've gone for the, you know, if I think it's a wrong price or something, I'll try and, you know, either they won't buy it. I can't be bothered to haggle. I won't buy it. I'll go and buy it from somewhere else. And the thing with something like this, it's very difficult. Now, all these games here, I don't think I saw anybody else selling any of these, so I couldn't have got these cheaper anywhere else on the day. So it was either these or not. Let's start with what I bought from Darren McCowan, who's usually right next to Toothy, but they split themselves up. So they said Darren was selling PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Atari 2600 as well. And so I thought, you know what, this is when I started thinking, well, let's get a lot of PlayStation 2 games here. And they were all, you know, relatively cheap. And I thought, well, let's just go through and let's try and find things I haven't heard of that might be interesting. And I could have bought a load of racing games, but I thought, no, there's not enough room on the PlayStation 2 wall as it is. You know, I've always said, you know, my PlayStation 2 collection, I can get rid of 500 games and keep the good ones. Or I could sell the 100 good ones and keep the 500 crap ones. I can get rid of them, but that's where it'll be. So I've got 3 games. I've left them all in the bags. I'll take the prices off. So the first one I've got, and I've never heard of any of these 3. So that's why I've got them. I've got Volleyball Exciting, not exciting volleyball, but Volleyball Exciting, which is from a company called Age Tech. Never even heard of this before. And there's the back there, which you can see now because it's unweighted. So I think it's like a mixture of indoor and beach volleyball. I do have volleyball games. The first volleyball game I ever played was beach volley back on the Amiga, which I'm happy to say I have on the USB stick for my A500 Mini. I used to love playing that game. And then I know there's this great volleyball on the Master System, which I think I've got. There was also one on the Mega Drive as well, which when it first came out. Well, I haven't got that one. And I've got the obvious titles like Summer Heat, Beach Volleyball, and Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball. Yes, we all know what those games are about. But this one just looks really sort of fun, you know, just sort of different fun. So I thought, well, I'll try that one for a change. So got that one. And I haven't bought one of these for ages. And you know, if you're new to watching this garbage, then you won't understand my affinity for games involving horses and fishing. Two subjects I've absolutely zip interested in real life, but for some reason I seem to become obsessed with buying games on those genres. It's almost like a badge of courage. And for those of you who watch this all the year thinking, oh no, not again. So we've got Top Angler, Real Bass Fishing. This is from Koikat, I think it is. I never even heard of them either. It looks like it's an old title because it's got the old age warning on there. But yeah, I've got absolutely no interest in fishing. As we become obsessed with fishing games. If you don't know, I do have a third-party Dreamcast fishing controller for the Sega Bass Fishing game, and a couple of Wii ones as well for the Rapala, and also I think there's a Hudson game as well. So yeah, I'm not a stranger to the old fishing controller peripherals, but yeah, it actually might be nice to play a fishing game, which I've never actually done yet. And the third one I got, and it's probably the one I'm most excited about, to be honest with you, of these PlayStation 2 games, is the game from Ignition and Azobo Studio, and this is called Super Farm. I was just immediately attracted by the cover, and I was talking to Darren about it. He said, this is one of these games which is very difficult to come across out looking about, but isn't particularly rare or expensive. And he's absolutely right, because I know what I paid for it, but I'm desperately trying to. Mrs. Bear read the back of the box to me, and I still can't work out what you're meant to do. I've got absolutely no chance of reading that, but I think it's some sort of like adventure mini game bonanza or something like that. It looks. I'm just trying to see it. As the only female, Pamela the Beautiful Turkey has been made. I don't know. Yeah, it's there's a storyline to it anyway. It's also classified as a 12 as well, which is even more interesting. So I'm definitely going to be looking forward to whizzing that up at some point. I've never heard of it before, but like I said, there were other ones I could have got, but excuse me. I thought that's probably the best bet to have a go on that one. Got that, and then I got an intention the other day. I got 80 quid in my pocket, and I thought. And that's money I had for Christmas, and I thought I owe myself 20 quid out of that, so I've still got 20 quid left to spend. And I thought I want to go in there and put it towards something big, and it was the wrong place to do it, and no one's bringing mega CDs and boxed Neo Geos and things I could put money towards. So I thought there's nothing big here to spend. I thought just blow it on stuff. So I thought, well, I treat myself to a nice bits or some things that I don't usually find. So, not the sort of thing I'd pick up, but looking at Darren's Atari 2600 stuff, and I don't have many games that are in box condition. So I thought, this is also one that I used to have when I was younger. I'm sort of beginning to think now, well, maybe I should start picking up Atari 2600 games in good condition that I had back then, if I want to build up a small 2600 collection. So I picked up. It's in a box protector. Wizard of War, which does come with the cartridge and the instructions. This is an old arcade game, like a maze game. I think it's a dungeon crawl, I was supposed to describe it. Yeah, just go around going through, working your way through mazes and shooting monsters. Based on the real arcade game, as it says there. And I mean, the box has got somewhere around it, but quite frankly, I don't mind that. It looks like it's been used properly. But yeah, it's one I had back when I was a kid, quite enjoyable. I mean, me and Darren had a conversation about it, saying, it was a pretty good conversion considering the limitations of the 2600. Paid a bit more than probably I would like to have done for that, something like that, but it was worth it. It was worth it. So I was very happy to pick that up, and I will look forward to playing that. Might be in an upcoming video. Not going to give too much away on that one, but we'll have a look at that. Then we went to see Fob, because always nice to see Fob, and Fob's always very kind to me. Because you may, oh, not the Barrow, but you may have seen these wonderful sort of, I'll move out the way, arcade metal toppers I've got here, which have been sitting there for quite some time now. And I got them from Bob. He said, "Oh, I've got something for you." He says, "You'll be interested in these." And what he's done now, he's now taking with him shelf runners, so you can actually, not just actually categorise your collection, but identify it as well. Because when I first started putting this room together, I started putting little stickers, which you can see maybe there. So says, see, that's where my Xbox stuff used to go. And I always point out to people, that's where my Wii collection used to go, literally 10 games. And the stickers weren't a great idea because they won't come off and they're faded and they look horrible now. But these things apparently go on Billy bookcases. If you've got Billy bookcases, I don't, but that's fine. And they're sort of there to, identify. You can categorise your system by putting all this stuff in a Billy bookcase and then sticking one of these on top of it. So he's give me one of these, which is an Amiga one. That's great, because that probably would sort of sit, that's where my Amiga stuff is. So I could stick that there. It does look a bit big, but I think they look great, don't they? They look really good, those. And he also gave me one which says Wii on it as well. So they are, I don't know what material this is. It's sort of like a bendy thingy. Well, yeah, so I mean, I could technically stick it down the side of that if I wanted to, but yeah. So I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet, but I will find something for it. But they're great. So thank you to Fob for those. And he got loads. He got loads. Every single system you could think of. He got one of those made up, and he got more than one as such. I think that was the last Amiga one he had. I'm going to put that behind me again. But yeah, so I shall find some new stuff. That's great. And then he got a game which I wasn't quite sure about picking up because of the condition of it, but I thought, do you know what? I'll pick it up, because he always does me good favours, and he did me a deal on this as well. So people just, I don't know, just happy to get rid of stuff, or they just thought, oh, we'll do Mr. Bear a favour. So on the Master System, I got a copy of Desert Speed Trap, which is a Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote game. And I did play this many years ago. There is a video on my channel for gameplay footage. I didn't particularly like the game at the time. I wasn't quite sure about picking it up. I mean, it's got the things that I like. It's got a hang tab on there. The box is in good condition, but the cover's a little faded. The side is a little bit quite faded as well, but it is what it is. The back is quite nice. The back's fine, but the price Rob did this to me for, I mean, I just couldn't walk away from it really. And it has, if I just put it in the right way around, a nice condition manual with it as well, which is very important. And the cartridge unfortunately does have some fade on the label at the top there, which is a bit of a shame. But for what I paid for it, even if I buy another copy and upgrade the cover and move this one on, or take that cover out and put it in this one, and whatever, and do it that way, I may do so. But it doesn't look too bad there. But honestly, I've had a look at something else, and there is definitely some fade. But for the price Rob did me, I'm just grateful to have it. Another one ticked off the list. I'm very happy to have that going, because I have got a copy, unfortunately. I do have some label fade on some of the games I've already got, but it is what it is. For that price, I couldn't leave that behind. It'd been stupid. I'd have been stupid. Needed me head looking at if I did that. Right, let's move on to Sean. Retro Games Revived. He was there with his table. He got a PlayStation Classic. That's probably the one regret I have of the day. He had a PlayStation Classic. Excuse me, sorry, I've got this in the wrong place. For sale right at the very start, and I walked in there. I thought, ooh, if I buy that now, I'll have nothing left. And it seemed a bit daft to not do it, so I left it where it was, and lo and behold, it sold about 5 minutes after the fair opened. My error of judgment, but it is what it is. It's one mini I've been missing and I'd like to get, but I've now missed twice. My own fault. But yeah, so yeah, but I did pick up some tape games, some dusty old tapes from Sean, 'cause he got a few, and yeah, one I was really, really happy to get. Let's do the jewel cases first, and I don't remember ever seeing this game. I never even heard of it, but I thought, well, I do like a good golf game. So this is World Tour Golf. So these are all these games are showing Commodore 64 now, and that's the old Electronic Arts label. I remember that from getting an Amiga, and that's how Electronic Arts games used to look. It's all complete. Watched a bit of game footage from it. You can see, because EA eventually ended up doing the PGA franchise. Probably, I don't know what year this is. Doesn't say, does it? But probably maybe within sort of 5 years of that coming out, they'd release the first PGA game. And you can actually see, having watched the footage of some gameplay on this, where the ideas have come from, particularly with the greens. When you get onto the green and do a putt, where the ideas came from compared to something like Leaderboard at the time, which was the leading golf game, where the development for that came in. So, yeah, I mean, it looks like it's a fun game. Nice one to pick up that, very, very happy. So, yeah, that was a good one. I can't tell you what I paid for it because Sean did me a deal, again, without me asking. So he done that for me. This one sadly doesn't have the manual or the poster, which is not a problem. I've got this in a compilation, but I haven't got actually this version singularly. I think I might have the budget re-release as well, but this is a Turbo Outrun on the Commodore 64. Not a game I'm particularly fond of. I don't think I've ever been, apart from, I think Outrun Coast to Coast, I think it was on the Xbox and the PlayStation 2. Never been particularly fond of like Outrun home conversion home games. Arcade was different than the original one, fine, but this is it. I mean, it got good reviews at the time. It's got a Zap Gold medal of 97%, but I don't know, I just wasn't overly happy with it. But yeah, it's in good condition, apart from not having the manual with it. But Sean put all these, you know, like the people do with these events, he spent all the time bagging all the games up, the big boxes and the jewel cases and whatever, and writing on the front whether they were complete or not. So I thought, well, you know what, I'll get it on here. I'll get it here. And then the third jewel case I got is Roadrunner, which was an old arcade game. There's a Roadrunner theme here. I didn't realise that I bought the game with Roadrunner already. This is complete. Now, again, I've got this on the Spectrum. I thought I got it on the 64, but I haven't. So, yeah, I mean, for the old arcade game, going back to the, say, I think maybe 84, 85 possibly, and the home conversions weren't that great. It's not a particularly well-remembered game, probably because it came from US Gold. But I like cartoons, so, and it's a nice copy. I think obviously Sean's been around with the replacement cases maybe, but it's a nice copy to have. I think Retro Ed sent me the Roadrunner. Cause it was a game for something I was trying to find for ages, and then I mentioned it, and then Retro Ed sent me a copy. So yeah, so I've got those three. So those jewel cases there from Sean's stall, and then I got some cardboard, because I do like me 8-bit cardboard. So we've got Pipe Mania. Now I remember seeing this at the time. Do you know when games come out and magazines go, well, magazines nowadays, but reviewers go crazy, oh, this is the best game ever, and you know, Pipe Mania won so many of these like magazine awards here on the side. And I think literally every single magazine, you know, CMVG Hit, Zap Sizzler, you know, the one award for the Amiga. And I remember coming out, and it, you know, it's like, I'm not interested. It's a puzzle game. You have to build a pipe network so the water flows through it. And I'm like, yeah, this why is this a particularly good? Why are people giving this 97% in magazines? I mean, even the cover looks crap. You know, I mean, it's not great, is it? But it's a basic puzzle game. And when you know, people, oh, this is one of the best games ever made, and you think, well, it's not my sort of game. It's the same thing that when they play the Street Fighter 2, oh, this is the best game ever made. Well, yeah, it could be like fighting games. If you don't like fighting games like me, I'm not particularly interested in wanting to play it. And I did actually play Pipe Mania on the Amiga, and a demo of it, and I wasn't that impressed with it there. Label's coming away a little bit there. Oh, in fact, it is coming away quite a lot, actually, so I'll have to get some glow on that. But I mean, it's hardly, just show you that there as well. You probably can't see it through that, but you can tell by a tape and how much tape in there is how big the game is. That's hardly got any tape in it at all. There is tape in there, I've checked. But, some games are like literally half the tape. And you always think, well, that's either going to be a big load or it's going to multi-load in. Which I know the next game I'm going to show you is a massive multi-load. And this is Adidas Championship Football. Now, I got this on a compilation last year. And I picked up a small box version of World Championship Soccer, which was the World Cup Italia game on the Mega Drive. Got that on the Spectrum, so I've never actually seen it on its own, so I thought, I'll grab hold of that. It does say there's a limited edition audio cassette of the 12-inch version of World in Motion. Unfortunately, that isn't in here, but that wasn't the reason for buying it. It's just a nice cardboard box, and I do like a bit of cardboard. But this one, having watched a video on it this morning, it loads 2 lots in, then you pick a team, then it loads another block in, then you go to the draw for the competition to take part in. Then you have to rewind the tape and then load the options screen in. And then once you've done that, it then loads the game in. I mean, I don't know how long you'll be sitting there doing it for. Got an Ocean bag. Unfortunately, there's no instructions with it, but there is a flyer for an Adidas competition. Well, I'll take that. Now, I did actually have this game, and I think you just jotted that in a box there. I did actually have this game loose. So now I've got the box copy. But again, just a nice box copy. And I do like, unfortunately I can't show any screenshots, but believe me, it's not a good looking game. You can see some screenshots down the bottom there, but it's not a good looking game. And you can see there, it's got a sticker in it that says Another World. That's where it was purchased from, for £12.95. Wow. But it's just a nice looking box, and I do collect cardboard. I must do a video on my 8-bit cardboard. And then the final game I got from Shaw, now I remember he showed this off. Oh no, I dropped my pack again, hang on. I remember he showed this off on a video ages ago, and I thought, you jammy sod. Because it's the game that I used to look at most weekends with a mate of mine in Tandy's in El Lemming. And because we're big American football fans, well I still am. And we were looking at it thinking, oh, this looks really good. So we used to play 4th and Inches. 4th and Inches and on-field football. 2 games that we used to play. That's all we had back then, the American football games. I mean, there was Super Bowl, we never played that one. I've got that now. And there were the end zone games, which were like American football management simulations. Oh my God. Having seen those, there's so much wrong with those games. There's so much wrong with them. I could probably do an entire hour on that. I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to. Not going to. Don't worry. Stay. I'm not going to. And we look at this game and think, oh, this looks really, really good. I mean, we must get this. And I think because it was like $4.99 as opposed to like $1.99 for games at the time, you never got it. And I never saw it again. And then Sean showed it, I'm pretty sure, sometime in the last 12 months. And I thought, oh, I really want that. And lo and behold, he got it, so I got it. And this is Super Sunday. Now, this is actually an American football game where you can actually play it, but you actually pick the plays. It doesn't sound particularly interesting. It must be, having watched it video on YouTube, it's not the most exciting game in the world, but it's interesting. And you can actually see where this whole thing about when you're playing something like Madden, understanding the playbooks and calling the plays and what they're going to do. It's quite an interesting concept. So you pick a play, you watch it, and then you pick another, and you carry on. And it says on there, it says features 20 Super Bowl teams. Now, having watched it again this morning, what it's done up until 1984 is it's picked 10 random Super Bowls and the 2 teams that were in the Super Bowl. I'm putting this, although it says 20 teams, it's not actually 20 teams, it's probably maybe something else, but they've all got the original player names and teams in there as well, so that is something. If you're a big fan of that, I don't know, but yeah. Unfortunately, the clasp on the thing is broken. So I can't still get in there, but the instructions are in there, and also the tape is in there, as I can expect to see that. But the clasp isn't working properly, unfortunately, broken. But we could probably do, maybe Mrs. Bear could do something with the old 3D printing on that one, possibly. But yeah, I'm just happy to have this because it's something, you know, not say I had back when I was a kid, but something that I remember greatly and I'm very happy to have. So yeah, I shall sort that out afterwards. But yeah, that's great. So thank you once again to my good friend, old buddy Sean, who did me a cracking price on all those games. And then on to the last lot, we got this from 2 UK, who also did me a cracking deal on this. I'll show you the cheap stuff first of all. Don Bradman's Cricket on the Xbox One. As Stu said when he sold it to me, he said, "You're the only person I know would play something like that." And he's right, actually. I am the only person I know would play something like that. Being an ex-cricketer, that's what I'll do. Oh, it's got a disc in it. It should have. It's a modern game. I've actually got a Don Bradman cricket game. I think it's the one before this. Is it Don Bradman cricket I got? I have got a Bradman cricket game, but I don't think it's on the Xbox One. I think it was on the 360. I think, anyway. There's one lurking in my collection somewhere, because I remember playing it. But yeah, so it's cricket. There you go, that's what you need to know. And then while I was there, because I bought that, he said, well, he said, look, have these two as well, he said. You like American football, so have these two. So he chucked in Madden 16 and PlayStation 4, which does have some stuff in it. And he also chucked in Madden 17 as well, which has got Rob Gronkowski on the front, which also has some stuff in it. 20% off at the NFL shop. I wonder if that still works. Be interesting to see if it does. Go now to NFL. Oh, get 15% off NFL Game Pass. I doubt that'll work. It's probably changed hands about 7 times since then. But yeah, so a couple of American football games. Put those in there. But I did buy a film, and then probably, as much as I like Super Farm, this is probably my most favourite pick-up of the day. And again, it's something I had when I was younger. And he did me a cracking price on it. He really, really did. So grateful that he did. I didn't ask for it, like I said. He just did it because he said, "I'll give me this for it." And I was like, "Okay, you sure?" Yeah. What a guy. Game I had when I was a kid. I have got some gameplay footage on the channel, I think, as well. I've never actually played the arcade version of this until, I think it was the Crash event a couple of years ago in Kenilworth. Because Alex used to be known in Nintendo Arcade, wasn't he, Alex? Al's Arcade. He got a machine with this on, and I was just playing it. I thought, this is great, you know. And it's a game I hated as a kid, but I just loved it because of the crazy concept, the characters, and the fact that it just used to annoy the hell out of me. Even back then, when I was like, you know, a little bear, you could tell that this game was really going to annoy me, but I really was enjoying playing it, even though I just keeps drawing you back in. That's what games do, keeps drawing you back in. So I picked up Qbert on the Atari VCS. And most of you will notice it's one of these silver ones, as well as Stuart said. At the time, that's a slippery slope you're going down, Russ. I'm not going down a slippery slope because very, very luckily we only had a couple of the Parker games. We had this one, we had Empire Strikes Back, and Star Wars Jedi Arena, which I think I'm the only person in the world who actually likes Star Wars Jedi Arena. Everybody else hates it. Friends of ours had, I think, Sky Skipper, Spider-Man. I think that was all the ones they had. They also had Springer as well, which if you're an Atari 2600 collector, that's an incredibly difficult one to get hold of. Springer and Miner 2049er. They're both of those. My mum and dad's friends. I mean, they're probably worth about, well, they wouldn't probably be ashamed about a couple of 300 quid out of those two games themselves now. But this is, you know, a lovely. I mean, look at that. It really is quite beautiful. I mean, it does have odd blemishes, but I mean, this is 40 years old, folks. This is 40 odd years old. I mean, it looks like it's just come out of the factory, really. That's the back of it there as well. But I mean, just to have something that old in that condition, it's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But I'll show you the inside as well, because that's even better. I mean, here's the manual. Look at the manual. Look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. absolutely beautiful. It's a crisp man. There's no bending in it. You know, the let's look at the the staples on the inside. Yeah, staples absolutely fine. Yeah, I mean that's just lovely. This was probably the one that sort of was like fantastic to see inside. Actually, the catalogue of the games that came out for the Parker Brothers, and again you can just see it's absolutely. There's Q*bert there. There's Spider-Man underneath. Stu did have Spider-Man for sale. He also said Empire Strikes Back for sale as well. On the back you got Popeye. Horrible looking conversion. There's the Empire Strikes Back in all its glory. Then you've got Action Man, Action Force. Then there's an Incredible Hulk game. You could have joined the Parker Video Games Club as well. And it opens out. I mean, it's just really nicely done. It's beautiful. I'm going to be careful with that. Then you see Frogger, Super Cobra, and there's a couple of Return of the Jedi games. I didn't know. Return of the Jedi Game 1 with the Ewok at the front. Then you've got Jedi Arena. I'm running out of arms. There's another Return of the Jedi game there. And then you've got Tutankhamun at the top. Sky Skipper, which I previously mentioned. You've got Amidar, with the monkey. There's a James Bond game as well, which came out. Then you've got Reactor. And then there's a Lord of the Rings game as well, and I'm not sure if that ever came out. Now I've got one of the Return of the Jedi games. I think I've got the Death Star battle, which is there as well. And then finally, I mean, again, look at this here. I mean, you can see why people collect this for the the Atari system. I mean, that is absolutely beautiful. I mean, cardboard is in lovely, lovely, lovely condition. The cartridge is in very good condition as well. There's not much blemishing going on there at all. Absolutely beautiful. You know, and for people, for some people think, no, there's nothing. You know, it's a small market. You know, there's nothing there for me because I'm collecting this stuff. Yeah, this is what makes the trip worthwhile. That trip on Sunday was worth it just for getting that. You know. Just getting that, and I think it's making. And I'd say, like I said, with that and Wizard of War, I mean, there are other games that I've got probably loose that I'd like to get, and there are games I remember that I had that I'd like to get box copies of. It'd be nice to get some of them back. I can't remember all the games I used to have when I was a kid, and I can't remember crossing over with games that I didn't have, we borrowed from somewhere else. But there's certainly a few I'd like to get hold of, and I'm just so thrilled to have that. Absolutely beautiful. Say the best till last. There we go. So thank you. So thank you to everybody who did me deals on Sunday. You didn't have to do that. I must admit I didn't try very hard to stop you doing that, but you know, I'm not one of these people who goes in there expecting people to do me favours. You know, and that was it. And you want to make money at the same time. So just so pleased with the generosity. Great to see people there as well. If I did miss anybody out, I am sorry. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what the next event is. I know there's a new venue for Birmingham in May, which is in Hockley. So if you want to risk getting stabbed, it's worth a trip down there, certainly. I mean, it's a nice, easy route for us to go to, but I'm not sure whether we will or not. Like I said, yeah, I like events like this where I can talk to people and what have you, and it's not massively busy. The last couple of Birminghams we've been to, it's been a bit like that, and you know, you spend a lot of time talking to people and not a lot of time doing any shopping. So I quite enjoyed that one. I don't know what's going on after that really, but well, certainly there's another games fair later in the year, which I think when I spoke to Dana, he said it's very, very likely there will be another one October, November time. Whether Mrs. Bell will have a table there or not, I'm hoping she will do. Whatever, but you know, if not, we'll probably see you there. I'll see you before then, of course. But yeah, so yeah, let me know what you think of those pickups. Anything that interested you can shed any light on some of those obscure games which I've got, which I really have no idea about at all whatsoever. And just want to say thank you very much indeed for watching. See, told there'd be more games on this channel. Not all film reviews and DVDs. No, it's all, you know, do a bit of gaming every now and again. There are some more gaming videos to come. I filmed a few, so we'll be dropping those in, and also I'll be doing my Ridge Racer Revolution channel challenge and beating Retrohead Steve again, I'm sure. Until then, thank you very much indeed for watching. Do take care, mind how you go, and yeah, I'll talk to you again soon. But until then, bye bye.